welcome to Charlestown and Beyond. I'm Kathy Giordano, your host. Welcome. Tonight we have an interesting program to share with you, and I'm going to get right into introducing my guest. It's Dr. Ricky Sterrn.
Hello.
She's the Executive Director of E-Inc. Welcome, Doctor. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me, Kathy. I'm very excited.
Let's tell the folks well, before we get started, this is a live call-in show. So please call in with any questions or whatever you'd like to say. The number is 617-708-3290. Call in. So Dr. Sterrn, tell me, what is E-Inc.?
Great. So I run a nonprofit, E-Inc., and we are 13 years old. And what we do is we are interested in the question of how to, let's say in big words, save the planet. And what's a role that we as a nonprofit can play. And so we decided long ago that if we could teach in an exciting way all the science that drives the world, the Earth, that we could get that aha moment from our children, our teens, and adults, and that through that excitement we could then add action and say, well, now that you understand it and you have some great feelings about it, you probably want to save it. Let's talk about what you can do. And then they have to do it. So we're a place that always does science and action together, whether it's in Head Start or in teen teams or in day school or after school. All our children and young people are learning about the science that drives their world and the ways that they can make a difference, and then they're expected to create a project. We stay with them during the project, and we help them look at whether they're making a difference.
Well, I want to get into more of that, but right now, you invited us to go down, and you had a program during the school vacation week.
Right.
And we and the crew from B&N went down, went into the classroom, and let's see that tape of some of the students being involved.
Lovely.
Hi, we're here at E-Inc. in the Charlestown Navy Yard to see what kind of a program they run. Let's go over and meet some of the students. Come on. I'm here in the classroom with some of the students, and I'd like to introduce you to Curtis Tripp. Curtis, what is your position here?
So I'm an environmental educator for E-Inc. We're most of the organization. We're the ones who are out in classrooms during school, jumping into science classrooms and teaching programs, and also teaching after schools and vacation week camps and things like that.
What are you teaching them this week?
This week is called Winter in the Rainforest, so it's a theme we've been doing for the past few years when it's winter and everyone's stuck inside here, so that we can sort of use our space to take kids to a different side of the world and teach them about the rainforest and different environmental issues affecting it.
Oh, that's great. Let's go talk to some of the kids. Okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm good.
Good. What is your name?
My name is Jack.
Okay, Jack. You having a good time in school this week?
Yes.
What have you learned?
We learned about the rainforest and how they do teamwork and share the foods so they have more food and don't need to get their food by themselves.
Wow, that's great. You're really paying attention. And what is your name?
Alexander.
And what do you think about coming here this week to learn? What was the best part of the week for you?
Cutting out the animals.
How about you, young man? What is your name?
Chadwick.
Chadwick. What do you want to tell us about this week down here?
Well, we've been learning about the rainforest. The day before that, we were learning about monkeys and primates, like monkeys and things, and...
Wow. So what did you learn about monkeys?
Well, we sorted groups of them. We tried to do some activities with, like, hear, smell, and touch well and stuff, and taste, and in the touch was you're trying to write our names with our feet. because monkeys can use their feet to climb.
Oh, that was great. So how'd you do writing your name with your foot? Must have been hard, huh?
I didn't do it. I couldn't do it. No.
Oh gosh. What is your name, dear?
Ollie,
And what great adventure did you have this week in class?
when we took soda bottles, large soda bottles, and then we put dirt and carbon in it, and then we put plants in it so that plants would grow out of large soda bottles. It's a plant. Somebody else made it. I put mine in at home, and then you could put a plastic bug in here.
Now, what will happen with this? You have it at home. What will happen?
It'll grow.
Oh, will it? Wow. So you'll have this at home for quite a while. You don't have to water it or anything?
You should water it occasionally.
Oh, wow. Well, that's great. So you think you learned some great stuff this week?
Yeah.
Good. Would you come back? Would you tell other kids to come and enjoy too?
Yeah.
All right, that's great. Thank you so much. Thank
No
you.
problem.
Well, listen, this must be a great place. You're coming out of the mouth of babes, as they say. They all enjoyed their week. So let's get back to the studio. Wasn't that great? I have to tell you, there were a lot more students there, including a lot of girls. But because of the TV show regulations, if they didn't have a signed permission slip from their parents, we couldn't film them. But I do have to let you know, there were a lot of kids there.
Yeah.
And the enthusiasm of those students was just enlightening.
Yeah.
It was.
Great.
So
great.
what do you think, Doctor, now? That must have been a very successful week with all the
Well,
students.
it was actually a lot of fun. Last summer, we just took a chance at our we have a space in Charlestown, and about a year ago, we got official permission to start activating it, and we've been running small programs there. Typically, our work is in the community, and so we see about 7,000 children a year in classrooms and after schools, and we stay all year and come back every week. So it's a pretty in-depth project that we're running. But we have this space that we're going to convert into a museum at the waterfront. It's very fun. And for now, we've been running these little shorter programs. So we did one last summer, and we were really nervous, but it was a hit. And parents are already enrolling now. So we thought, well, let's add the vacation week. We decided to look at the rainforest, and we just do a real, wide array of experiences. What we're interested in is, can you teach in such a way, the science, that kids really retain it, they start to love it, they can't wait to come back for the next day's activities, and a week later you can ask them a question and they can still answer it. That's what we're after. And so we use artwork, we use experiments, we use games, we use investigations, they try all kinds of equipment. And all of it is to move them along a trajectory, in this case of what's the rainforest, who lives there, what are the different levels of that ecosystem, how do they interact, why is it there versus here, and they get it, they just get it.
They really got it.
Yeah.
You have exceptional teachers there,
Yeah.
instructors.
Yeah.
These kids were so informed, and they were so willing and open to share
Really?
what they
Great.
learned.
Good.
We had a great time with every one of them. We
Great.
did.
Great.
Now, you do have the classroom. It's located right next to the Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital.
Yes.
Down in the Navy Yard. But that is only a small portion of what you do. You explained to me that you have programs in every single school within Charlestown.
Well, absolutely. What happened was when we moved to Charlestown, which is, was interesting. We were talking about it before about how great a neighborhood it is. We knew nothing about Charlestown. We had one program there just by chance, and I was a little nervous. I thought, well, will this work out? But we had this opportunity, and it has been fantastic. People in the Navy Yard have been really sweet. They come to our events, and then we are in, unbelievable, we're in the Boys and Girls Club teaching in after school. We're in the Kennedy Social Services Center teaching Head Start and their after school. We have a program we call Kids Green Their Schools. It's about sustainability, and that's been going for 3 years straight at the Warren Prescott and the Harvard Kent. And those places won an award from us last year for lowering their resource use, and this year the Warren Prescott is working on habitat.
Wonderful.
So they're adding all kinds of habitat to the school. I mean, it's really been fun. And then I think there's another place
Well, I
we
know
are.
you're
Oh, the
pulling
high
together
school.
a program at the high school.
That
Yes.
was, yeah, the high
Yeah.
school. We just started an all-girls teen program. The girls will be with us 2 afternoons right after school a week, and it's about slowly building them into a group having them think about how they can be champions for the planet. We're calling it change makers, and they're being asked to think about what are things that they see that maybe they'd like to have be different, and then do some investigation, and we'll support that, and then eventually have a project. So
That's wonderful. Let me remind you folks that you can call in and ask Dr. Sterrn for more information at 617-708-3290. So you have these programs currently going on within the schools in Charlestown, and you also have classes at 114. What street are you on in
we're
the
on
Navy Yard?
16th Street.
16th Street,
Right.
thank you. Within the Navy Yard. So for someone, a Charlestown resident or whoever who does not go to school within Charlestown, they would have an opportunity to learn at these clubs, at the Boys and
Absolutely.
Girls Club.
Yeah. And also, we, because we're trying to really make ourselves a Charlestown resource and a Charlestown community member, we're also looking at the sort of abutting neighborhoods.
Yes, well, I know you.
We're at St. John's in North End. We're starting this week, I think, at the Elliott School.
Good.
So people that use those schools who are Charlestown families, their children are learning from us as well.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And I know you're also in Dorchester?
We're all over.
Yes, you are.
We're in Mattapan, Dorchester, Roxbury. I mean, we have a lot of relationships in schools and after schools now. And this year we got an EPA grant, and that allowed us to offer free services to, we're at 17, 10 of those sites are being paid for straight through the EPA grant.
Wonderful.
And it's really exciting. We're in Somerville at 7 schools in the afternoon. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of children are getting a chance to understand their planet, but take action to make a difference. And maybe I'll say something about that. The reason we started the organization was because we felt that that the planet was in trouble. And as you know, we know now, of course, it not only was, it is in trouble. I mean, global warming is one piece of it, and a serious piece of it. But there's so many other issues around other beings besides us, what happens with the rest of the world. And so we felt that in order to make a difference, if we could reach kids and then kids reach families, that children teach their parents. I remember my father was a smoker. And one day he didn't like something my sister was doing, and he said, "You can't do this, blah, 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 blah." And she said, "Well, Daddy, I learned in school that smoking is bad for your health, so you can't say anything to me till you stop." And the man, God bless him, he turned around, he threw the cigarette out, he never touched one again.
Isn't
He
that
went
wonderful?
cold turkey.
Isn't that wonderful?
But there's the little parable inside that is the amount of times we teach kids and parents say, "Oh, you were those people? You're the ones, we have to turn the lights out now," I mean, it's almost comic. So we're after sort of like the concentric circles, throw that pebble in. If the kids understand that the world is precious and it's fragile, what it looks like and what it really is are different things. And if we can get them to understand that they not only matter, but that it's up to them, it's not going to work if they don't really take this seriously. One day, Sarah, who's our education director, had just been teaching energy. And in energy, we teach 6 lessons in every classroom in a school. And they learn how a power plant works and how you get electricity, and then they assess, etc. What happens? This little girl who's living with her grandmother goes home, and she makes a shoebox power plant. And she brings it to Sarah on Monday the next week. And she says, "Look, Miss Chang, and it's just, you just don't know where you're going to resonate, But I think if kids feel that you're serious, you mean it, you believe it, then they start to really open their eyes too. And the amount of times kids made a difference in the years that we've been doing this is exciting, it's heartwarming.
It has to be rewarding.
Yeah, we love it.
The young lads that we got to interview, they were so into it. They had different personalities. Little Jack was so open and wonderful. But others were shy, but they weren't shy when they started explaining to us their science project,
That's right.
what they learned.
Right.
And they were so informed. Now, That was after only 4 days in class.
Right, right.
You
And
know,
it's
that
not
would-
like,
yeah.
it's not like we're sitting there in a classroom. You know, we're
Right.
doing things, they're trying stuff out, but there's also the relationship building of the children. You know,
Right.
it's meant to be a time. In this particular case, it's a vacation week.
Right.
So we want them to really feel at home. Some of the kids were afraid of coming, you know. So there's a lot of social dynamics that we're
That's right.
responsible for and we take responsibility for as well.
Well, it's
So,
working.
Yeah.
It really is, Doctor. What is your Science Plus Action program all about?
Well, again, it's when I started this years ago, I was lucky enough to work with a primate person when I was getting my doctorate, and he really helped me
Oh, listen,
see.
Doctor. We have a phone call.
Oh, very fun.
Hello, caller.
Hi there, Cookie. How are you tonight?
Good. How are you, Jean?
I'm hanging in, my dear.
Good.
You know, I knew this program was going on for the children because we have meetings up there and I've seen part of the room, you know. But I'm thinking that why wouldn't it be interesting to adults as well? If we ought to think of opening up the program to the older folks.
Wow, that's a great idea. You know, I have to tell you, personally, I feel we can't teach people enough. And there's so many serious issues going on. In my town, we're grappling with things like a pipeline that might come through at a time when global warming is so huge. You know, there's so many things in Charlestown that people have to worry about. You can see it. Something as simple as I had a great conversation with an architect today, and how he'd done a roof in his house at Charlestown that had green space on it. You know, Charlestown is probably a huge heat sink, and in the summer, that's terrible for global warming. You want people to have more trees, and there's so many things we could be talking about in our town, and it has been on my mind, so it's good to hear this because that makes me feel a little more bold to go beyond our comfort zone of the work we already do and start showing some movies and maybe some global warming discussions and maybe have some speakers. And it sounds like maybe we would get a small group of people that would be interested in that. So I'm happy to talk with you if you want to call us at our site. That would be great.
It would be very interesting. Global warming and all the issues that are with that connected to it
Very much so.
affect everyone.
Yes, in Charlestown especially.
Thank you for all you're doing, and
Thank
hope
you.
be well, and talk to you again.
Great.
Bye.
Thank you, Jean. Now, this is Jean Tuckerman, and she lives in the Navy Yard. Now, people like Jean, who are totally informed of what's going on in the neighborhood, could teach you things like Charlestown has a very serious problem with pollution.
Yeah.
Now, you were talking about greenhouse
That's
on
right.
the roof. Anything that you could do to teach people how to bring down the pollution. We have one of the highest cancer rates in Boston because of the pollution issues. So,
Well, that's funny you say that. Apropos nothing, there is a beautiful stretch of land under the Tobin Bridge. And it's on my mind that somebody, I wish that person would call in, has made a little bit of an arboretum there. There are these trees inside these huge planters, like, you know, the planters twice the size of this area. And then when they were painting, the trees started to get harmed, and now they're gone, right, to paint the. So now it occurs to me that we should make an arboretum of that it would be very exciting. And that's one way you counter what's going on with the pollution. But aside from that, it just strikes me that Charlestown is both gorgeous and at risk. I worked on a NOAA proposal and had to do a lot of homework around Charlestown. Around sea level rise and resilience. And there's a lot of great plans, but big discussions need to go on in our community. And there are ways that people need to really look at. Do I know my neighbors? Are we safe? What do we do in an emergency? You know, it's really coming, and we should really all get together. And I am living in a space, and I know better, right on the waterfront. So, you know, it's a really, I'm laughing, but it's a very, very serious and important issue. I think about it a lot. I have a kid in college. I want her to have a good life and a safe life, and we all must band together. And Charlestown is a wonderful neighborhood for that.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
People
we
are
only
smart.
have 2 minutes left.
Okay.
So I want you to get in. What I want you to do right now, please,
Yeah.
is tell people how they can reach you tomorrow or the day
Yes,
after.
absolutely.
So if you could give the phone number and
Sure.
email, perhaps.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much. So we can be reached any day at our office, and the phone there is 617-242-7400. And if you leave a message there, we will always get back to you. I said the wrong number. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Because I'm a nervous lady. So it's 617-242-4700. So cross out the first one, 470. I apologize. And then the other thing is, if you want to reach us, probably the simplest thing is it's info at, and then our domain name is e-inc, E-I-N-C, e-inc-action.org. So it's all about who we are, e-inc-action.org. So it's Earth Incorporated-Action.
That's the letter E.
Right.
And do you have it in parentheses in the?
Not
no,
in the,
okay.
no,
So
yeah.
it's E-I-N-C
dash
action.
action.org. Yeah, and please do, if you have ideas. I mean, we've been in the Navy Yard two years, and we've made some great inroads. People have been lovely, but our job is to know our neighborhood. So feel free to call, give us your thoughts. Maybe you'll help us make some meetings together with people and show some. I have a box of fabulous documentaries.
Yes, you do. We were talking about that
Yeah, yeah,
before
yeah.
the show.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that
Yeah.
be fascinating? And I hope between the good people like Jean that called in and
Yeah.
yourself that you could work out something that you could get together with the adults and come
do
up
some
with
teaching
the
and
program.
ideas.
Yes,
Great,
yes.
would be fun.
Ways that they can learn from you how to better the air quality in Charlestown.
Lovely. We'd be
You know,
happy
wouldn't
to
that be a
take that
wonderful
on.
mix?
Yeah, that would be great.
Doctor, thank you so much.
Thank you for having
This
me.
has been a delightful
Yeah,
program. I'm
lovely.
so glad
Thank you.
that you invited us down
Great.
to the yard
The
to
yard.
visit you and
Yeah.
enjoyed the children. Thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
Come back
Thank
again.
You. Okay.
All right, very good. Well, isn't that delightful? And honest to goodness, we really enjoyed being with those children down at the classroom. So this is it for this week's program. And as I end every other program, I want you to remember to contribute to the Harvest on Vine food pantry. They're now looking for cereal. So if you could drop some cereal or anything else that is non-perishable down to the Cooperative Bank at 201 Main Street, I know that it would be so appreciated. Or if Hay Square is more convenient to you, bring it down to the Harvest on Vine at 49 Vine Street in Charlestown, right outside there at Hay Square. So with that, I'm going to close out, and until I see you in 2 weeks, remember, Charlestown, continue to take care of one another. Good night.